In today's short video, I want to raise awareness on why it's very important, once you have identified who is who, to not only ignore the people in your physical presence, but especially the ones on the internet. Those two groups, their main goal in any discussion, in any argument, is you losing yourself in it, you getting angry over time, and especially you unconsciously, freely, giving your energy to such individuals. We all know of those people, regardless the information, regardless the input we might provide, they are absolutely not interested in that. Such people who are miserable on the inside need to spit that garbage nonsense to the outside, as I've described in many of my videos so far. They themselves are unable to solve internal problems. They themselves are absolutely not interested in even solving such problems, in becoming a better version of themselves. After all, it's a very painful experience to look inside and realize that people have taken actually a big L throughout life. Every life decision, every single time they wasted their time doing nonsense could have been used to help them become better. It's painful, so they avoid that painful experience, because change takes time, change takes effort, and change is very painful. People want to have a convenient lifestyle. Convenience avoids change, therefore they will never grow. People like that, individuals like that, who are miserable on the inside, one more time, cannot generate happiness on their own. They are unable to even feel any kind of joy, any kind of glorification for themselves, for whatever they might have accomplished. They need attention from other people. They need to create drama. They need to start some nonsense and bullshittery here and there to get attention on them. They want to have people involved into their nonsense. They want to argue with these people for no other reason than to argue with them. That is their main objective. And in a way, if you, for example, want to help people like that, you provide information, you provide solutions, one more time. Your attention, your determination to solve that obstacle, in a way, is like an energy exchange to such individuals. They are absolutely not interested in hearing you provide any solutions. They might deep down actually know that you're very, very clever, that you know what you're talking about. To them, it's all about you being invested into them. They want to have your energy. They want to have your attention. They want to have your time. They want to have your heart, basically. Even though they themselves will not provide anything to you in return, other than you getting angry and actually starting to spit on them as well, what they truly actually desire. Because the moment you become angry, the moment they realize you are being fully invested into that matter, into that subject, trying to solve that problem, you becoming angry, one more time, over time, they start to feel alive. While you, once the argument is over and you have left the room, you have left the area, whatever, you feel depleted. You are being angry. You might even cry afterwards. They feel alive. And with that energy you have provided, they can, in certain circumstances, when it comes to, for example, people that I've described in some of my videos who are chosen, who are very, very important actually on the planet, they can, with that kind of energy, manifest a lifestyle. Without that energy, without the protection of the one who's chosen in that family, everything would crumble for these people very quickly, because the protection bubble would be gone and karma could fully hardcore kick in. And sometimes people like that, who are miserable on the inside, might know of such things because they are all about abusing divination tools that I've also described in my videos. It's not only about ignoring the people in the physical presence, but also on the internet, and why it's very important to not pay any attention to these people, because they might very well, as you see in this title, the energy vampire, they might get great joy out of meaningless nonsense, even though you try to solve a problem with such people. They do not care about that. They are all about you getting angry. You are about being invested in the comment section. As I would have described it, the OG troll, the original troll in the very beginning of the internet era. Because back then, no one had the idea of having multiple phones connected to a computer and through that trying to actually instigate nonsense through several accounts, fighting, for example, one real individual that I will be also showing in the video. But it's very important to listen to what he is in that movie actually talking about.
One of the best ways to drain people's energy nowadays is via the internet. This woman is an astrophysicist. Actually, this is not how space works. Read a book. These are all different.
And you clearly have seen right now what it is all about. It's not even about spitting any facts, correcting someone. It's just to instigate nonsense. And out of that nonsense, there will be hefty discussions starting that we all have seen all over the internet at one point. Someone just needs to write a simple thing that someone has a small penis. And out of that nonsense, there will be a discussion of 500 comments on very personal things. It's a 1 versus 1 in the old times. Eventually some idiots might pop in as well and then join that discussions. Today though, it might be perceived as 100 versus a few, but those 100 are not even real.
Different accounts that I have set up. The energy you get this way isn't quite as pure, but if you do enough of it, it'll fill you up.
Very importantly, the energy you get out of that, because he feels alive. Something is happening in that very moment. Someone else is invested, one more time, in that bullshit. And that bullshit, he has more things going on at the same time. Several accounts, several laptops, several phones. So he can start nonsense here and there on different platforms. And will get anyone invested over time. Because people take personal things very personal. One more time.
Shanghai sucked. Where was the Chinatown?
It's surprisingly simple to get total strangers completely furious with you.
They should get a life. When they call you a dumbass, you know you've got them. They called me a dumbass.
And from that very moment, the discussion starts. The nonsense starts. Going into basically oblivion. There might be hundreds of comments appearing out of nowhere from seemingly, one more time, nonsense. Such people thrive on this idea. To attack someone else on the internet. One more time, also in the physical presence. There might be very well family members who very well know that their children, that their uncles and aunts, their brothers and sisters, whatnot, that they have talent, that they have a skill set and mindset far superior than their own, that they might be, one more time, as I've described before, they might be chosen. There might be something special about them. They are very important on the planet. And they might purposefully try to do nonsense, purposefully attack what you, for example, believe in, purposefully trying to destroy your hobby that you want to make over time into money. So you actually never work throughout life. They might put doubt into your relationships, regardless if you're a man or woman. They might start to do any kind of nonsense that the other one that you are fully in love with, they start to put doubt into that relationship. Oh, maybe you should look somewhere else. I think this is not the right one for you. We actually have the best of interest in you. You should listen to us. Fully lying, actually. Fully trying to instigate nonsense because they don't want certain people, if they're special, to move away. They absolutely do not like that idea because one more time, karma would kick in. And here's another example that you need to pay attention to once you are on the internet and you're having a discussion with certain people and you realize that whatever input you provide, whatever information you are actually giving, a very helpful, honest solution, they do not care about. Because that's with whom you're actually arguing in today's time. You have a few people, in some cases, they might be even paid to instigate nonsense on the internet, to provide false information, to correct other people, to instigate, one more time, nonsense, drama, and bullshittery, because that's all what they are about. They need attention because eventually in their childhood, in their own childhood, they didn't get any love, attention from their own parents, from their own upbringing, from their family, from their friends. They were bullied, they were mocked, they were belittled. Whatever the case it is, it's not an excuse. It just shows weaklings. Weaklings who were too weak to look inside and overcome the problems, the internal problems that I put so much emphasis on. You need to know who you are in order to navigate through this realm effortlessly, smoothly, and elegantly. Unlike the very, very rest who is absolutely not interested in solving those problems because, very importantly, it's painful to look inside. To avoid that pain, people stick their noses into subjects where it absolutely doesn't belong. Instead of fixing their own marriage, instead of fixing their own sex life, instead of fixing internal problems that trouble them over many, many years, potentially decades, they want to give input no one asked for. They want to put doubt into relationships, hobbies, and dreams and visions because they themselves were too weak to handle that kind of stress in that time. They were simply too weak. And such people who are miserable on the inside cannot handle the idea of other people reacting to external stimuli differently than them. This idea kills basically their entire being, who they are. They cannot understand it. They cannot handle that kind of information, seeing other people being way more successful, not just when it comes to the materialistic world, but also to the energetic one, which defines your character, your personality, what you believe in, your core energy. That greatly determines who you are, how you react to the external world, and what you are willing to basically to sacrifice in order to make your dream, your vision, a reality. Because you would very well understand you are a co-creator of the universe. And not just a spectator like most people are. Most people have given up everything already around the ages of 18 to 20. They have accepted reality. They have accepted that they can't change shit. Because they have been told all life long that they are little them. Little them, what can they do? Basically nothing. And that's why these people move throughout life as nothing. Insignificant in life through their own choices taken in life prior. And that I've described many times in my videos as well. They themselves have made it to that point. Becoming insignificant. Becoming meaningless. And having the audacity to be angry at everyone else around them who became successful or who is about to become successful, who wants to break out of that nonsense, that grip that, for example, is present in a family dynamic, that grip in a friend circle, the peers all around, belittling, mocking someone who has, for example, great visions, because it would put a bad light on these people. If you can do it, if you succeeded, why the fuck couldn't they? What have they done with their free time? Basically nothing. Shit. Bullshit. Nothing. You need to understand the magnitude of your actions. You need to understand the magnitude of what you're thinking and how you are thinking throughout the day. Your ability to navigate one more time through this reality is greatly determined by what you're thinking, how you're thinking about yourself, and how much effort you put in. Meaning, you also need to find ways to solve problems that your surroundings might not be able to provide any solution for. So you need to look inside. Because one more time, everyone around you, they occupied their mind 24/7 with meaningless idiots, with meaningless, stupid, jealous, lazy, and undisciplined family members, and therefore only are able to regret later on in life what they have done. And because you do not get time back, such people who are miserable on the inside try to control their environment. So their environment, their sisters, their brothers, their uncles, their aunts, their daughters, their sons, make the same mistakes. Because if two people feel miserable, it's not so bad anymore on them alone, right? Misery loves company after all. And if personality disorders are involved, like for example in the videos that you have seen, they are absolutely not interested in seeing other people succeed. Because it one more time shows them how insignificant they are. And they have been insignificant all life long. Focus on yourself, focus on how you're thinking about yourself, and very importantly, once you have identified who is who, cut them off as quickly as possible, because you might regret that for the rest of your life, having such people in your circle. They will all life long put doubt in you, all life long belittle and mock you, and very importantly, all life long, because of their low frequency, keep all the luck, all the joy, all the treasures that you actually would simply acquire over time just by being yourself. They would put that far away from you. It's like an energetic blockage. You cannot receive what is yours, the dream life you actually deserve, because you have these fuckers around you whose only job in life is to keep you miserable as well. So they themselves do not feel that bad anymore. Make them feel bad, make them regret all their decisions, fight for your stance, and pay no attention to these losers. Become a winner. Have the courage to be yourself.